You're not upset that AI art is doing well commercially, you're upset that it's doing better than your art. After all, why should a prompt be able to generate something that's more commercially successful and, by popular opinion, better than what you're making? Today, we're going to look at why AI artists like Xania Monet have been able to capture such a significant market share, and how you can do it too, without needing to go to AI to make your music for you. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As always, you're here with Evan, aka 3Van, aka your man 3Van. Great to see you here again, as always, to talk a little bit more music marketing and promotion. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Hope you enjoy the video that I've got prepared for you today. And if you're new, on this channel we dive into a lot of different things that are happening within the current active music industry in terms of marketing and promotion, and how you can leverage them to create your own powerful fan base that shows up each and every time for you. Today's topic: how AI music scales so quickly. This video is for you if you're now infuriated by the rise of AI in our everyday lives. Because you weren't actually initially. Sure, you started to see AI brain rot on your Instagram timeline and admittedly laughed it off because, oh, it's just memes, they aren't hurting anybody. But now, when you see more realistic videos, fake TikTok girls farming views, misinformation, maybe even an artist you know using it for their latest singles, and you were like, I don't like the direction this is going. Me neither. Then the nail in the coffin came. You woke up to the news that an AI artist just signed a multi-million-dollar record deal, and like me, you got mad. Like a dog, for example. Quick disclaimer: I don't think using AI in your music business is a bad thing. Emphasis on business. I've admitted in the past that I've used AI to streamline a lot of the hard work that I don't really want to do in terms of content writing, article writing, helping with my websites. I've used AI for all of that because it's not the direct input for my creative output. We aren't all Stanford graduate level marketers or own an entire team ourselves to do all these things for us, especially when the profit margins for us artists is already so razor thin, if profitable at all. I do believe that if you're using AI itself, not plugins, not AI integrated plugins, but AI itself to do mixing, mastering, production, songwriting, artwork for you, I'm sorry, you're a D1 clown in my opinion. You don't really care about the art all that much, to be honest with you. I've seen artists I follow post their latest singles with like AI generated artwork, and I'm like, I don't even care how good the song is at that point. It's freaking slop. It's essentially, you're compromising. It's clear that you're compromising. Like, that's not for me. I'm not your target audience at that point, even if you make the best music that I've heard. AI artwork to me just looks like pure slop, and me as somebody who owns a label, I'm probably not touching your song if you send me something that ChatGPT spat out from a grade 1 level prompting ability. That's another topic. Because learning these things for yourself ultimately help you to become a better artist. But people don't really want to become a better artist nowadays. They just want the clicks, the views, the quick fame without having to work for it, because then it can feel like, oh, I'm this naturally gifted prodigy, which, let's specify really quickly, that's maybe 1% of the people watching these videos. I'm sorry, you needed to hear it, but I do have mercy for you guys, I'll admit. I can fully see why you would be tempted to use AI for your music itself. Things like mixing and mastering, like, they can feel really, really complicated, which is why I built this independent artist information system that encompasses everything you need to know as an independent artist, along with exercises to strengthen your skills and build up that confidence. It includes the tried and tested method that I've developed over the past 11 years for my own music and still am using each and every day to release commercial ready music on a weekly basis, if that's the pace you're desiring. Link is in the bio if you're an actual serious artist. If you want to be an AI slop artist, then this link is not for you. With all this being said, however, instead of being a bunch of musical equivalent incels and just hating for no reason and without context, we really need to put Xania Monet, the most successful AI artist to date, under the microscope and see what it is that have led to this point. How on earth did she generate enough buzz to land a deal? It's a very fair question, because that is the question that we should be asking. Not so we can do the exact same thing and copy instead of steal from her. We need to be able to replicate this same level of success for your music, as I imagine you want to replicate. So without any further ado, we're going to peek in and see exactly how Xania Monet's team has brought her to this level of stardom that has secured her a multi-million-dollar recording deal. And a quick disclaimer before we even look at Xania's stuff too. I know there's a lot of accusations of botting being assumed with her success as well too. Let's be real, it probably is a lot of botted streams. But for the sake of this conversation and trying to get you onto a level playing field with her, let's assume that, for the sake of this, that the streams are coming from real, genuine people. I remember seeing comments saying, oh, I did hear this song on the radio today. So we can assume that it is being exposed to regular everyday people. So the first thing we need to look at for Xania especially is the high curiosity entry point. We've talked about entry points in the past in terms of aesthetics, messaging, visuals, and music, but we want to talk about a really, really high spectacle entry point. I should have probably included this in my last video, but spectacle is also a great entry point for you as an artist. It honestly just refers to people who are clicking for the novelty of a song. People like an AI artist, for example, like Xania Monet. People are clicking not really necessarily at first for the music of it, they're clicking for the novelty. And after clicking for the novelty, some people even ended up staying. Being an AI artist for Xania Monet's team wasn't the selling point, it was just the entry point. The concept sparked curiosity without demanding 100% belief and commitment. Listeners didn't need to buy into her story yet, they just needed to press play. This drastically lowered resistance compared to human artists who often require an emotional backstory, visuals, and an identity alignment right up front, which kind of creates a bit of a barrier to entry ahead of that entry point. Artists almost market in a way that say, hey, you have to invest in me right here and right now, which, if we're being completely honest, that can be a bit of a turnoff for some consumers. In marketing terminology, she removed emotional commitment from the first interaction. People could get a taste of the music with zero expectations, which is where numbers honestly start to compound. The next tangible step that we can see taken by her team is a music first, narrative second approach. The approach taken by Xania Monet's team highlights a subtle but critical difference. Many emerging artists lead with story, visuals, and personal identity, but Xania's team did the opposite. They released finished, polished records immediately and let the music do the convincing. Obviously, there are some stipulations to that, but let's just roll with it. And once the music is starting to actually resonate with people, generate attention from people, then they introduce the AI artist narrative after this engagement already exists. This actually reversed the typical funnel that we expect for artists: listening, reacting, asking questions, and then sharing. By the time people figured out who she was and what she was actually, there was already a clear emotional investment in the sound. I don't support it personally, but clearly this is a step that has worked. The third takeaway from her success, and I think this is a very crucial one for all of us artists to look at, is the creation of algorithm-centered art. Her team's rollout aligned perfectly with how streaming platforms reward behavior. Songs were emotionally legible, aka easy to interpret, within the first 10 to 20 seconds of listening to the song, which is huge for listener retention. Familiar genre structures like R&B, gospel-leaning progressions, and expectations for her music reduced people who were skipping through it. If they're trying to skip through for any reason, they'd be because it's AI, not because it's the music that they actually clicked on to hear. Consistent releases trained the algorithm surrounding her quickly to understand who her typical listener was, who the listeners were that were putting her on her playlists, who the listeners were that were engaging with her outside of the platform as well too, because streaming platforms look at those as well. With all due respect, streaming platforms don't really care who you are as a person. They're only invested in things that can be quantified. They care about the completion rate of the song, the replay rate of the song, the saves of the song, and the playlist ads of the song. And these are metrics that are all designed to tell streaming platforms if an artist is keeping them on the platform or not. If somebody is listening to one of my songs and then they just get sick of it and click off completely while the song is still playing, that's communicating something to streaming platforms. That's communicating that, oh, people aren't staying to hear this song until the end. And so because of that, they're not really going to give a lot of algorithmic support to my music. Believe me, it's not like I haven't experienced that already. Xania's content was designed to perform well on these metrics, which triggered this algorithmic amplification for her music. This is when the numbers begin to compound and snowball, not just grow. This is where you see numbers going from 100 streams to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to the millions that she's racked up since then. Another thing Xania's team has really succeeded at doing well is creating these discovery loops. Her team didn't aim for one big moment. They created these repeatable discovery loops. Listeners discovering her through playlists, people sharing her because the concept was novel after the music landed, like, hey, check out this AI artist, tell me if do you think the music's good, or, that kind of dialogue. And then media picking it up because there was already data suggesting that people wanted to know more about this topic. That's the reason why you see her getting Billboard articles, New York Times articles, all of that. They're only responding to the interest in this information. Each layer of this strategy and these discovery loops is feeding into the next. The streaming is leading to curiosity, which is leading to coverage, which is leading to more streaming. And once that cycle starts replaying, you essentially develop this discovery system that is very hard for people to ignore. This is the loop that really starts turning hundreds into thousands into millions. While a lot of artists try to put the horse before the cart by going in for paid promotion, paid ads, blog posts, blog coverage, a lot of artists go into that before the music is even starting to do anything. Admittedly, a lot of artists need that first press coverage and that feature on a bigger platform to really start getting in front of people. But if we look at Xania's sort of rollout plan for it, it's been the complete opposite, which gives us a little bit of food for thought in this category. And the final takeaway from Xania's recent blow-up is proof before permission. Here's the big yet quiet advantage that her team was leveraging. They didn't really wait for a label, radio, gatekeepers, or industry validation to really catch on to what they were doing. By the time that labels finally noticed Xania's work and her team's work, the audience already existed, the metrics were already telling the story, the risk was already reduced. There was all these various data points to support why people would show up for this, even if it's AI. Labels don't sign potential at multi-million-dollar levels, they sign inevitability. Her numbers didn't convince people that she might just work as an artist, they showed the whole package was already working without any label intervention, and that's what labels really want to see. However, this does bring up a bigger concern, especially looking into the future of the music industry with regards to AI as well too. If the big three labels can fool or learn to fool people into mindlessly consuming art they can make for free, they're soon going to have no need to sign artists. Where artists are able to beat AI is here. Interpersonal connection. People won't wear merch to support a fake artist, but they will wear merch to support a real one. People won't put an AI artist's name in their bio, but they will put a real one. People won't buy tickets to see a hologram perform songs while speakers blare music to simulate a performance, but they will show up to be in the room when an artist does their thing. Which is why it's so important to us as consumers that we don't just consume whatever TikTok slop or Reels throws in front of us. If you are a consumer, you have to support smaller artists. I wear it on my hat for all these videos, make artists valued again. And I mean real artists, not no like AI slop that people are just saying, oh, this audio is trending on TikTok, I'm gonna use it for all my TikToks. Why? Not because I like the song, but just because it has a lot of numbers attached to it. Small artists cannot be replicated by AI because small artists are so multifaceted. They pull from different inspiration sources. They create and they're willing to create this thing that really breaks all expectations and rewrites boundaries and breaks those boundaries too. And AI can't replicate that. AI can replicate, however, the established artists. That's where the danger actually lies. There's a lot more danger for AI in the big established artists than for small artists like you and I. How long will it be before the big labels start making music on the behalf of artists with a strong brand identity and active fan base who don't want to make music anymore? We just saw in the past year The Weeknd drop his final album. What's to say that the label that owns The Weeknd will not just program up the best AI bot with all the money they've made off of The Weeknd to keep putting music out under The Weeknd's name and then just keep continuing to reap the benefits of acting like, oh, The Weeknd's here, guys. Here's his latest new album. When The Weeknd himself's like, that's not actually my music. But then they're like, hey, here's $30, $40, $50 million to keep your mouth shut and just say that the music is yours. Hey guys, go check out my new album. It's out everywhere right now. I'm unretiring. You guys can go listen to it here and right now. So with all of this said, looking at Xania Monet's team's rollout, how do we proceed as artists? We can reflect honestly at every step of this process and see a key takeaway for us as artists. Create a high curiosity entry point. This is honestly worth sitting down and brainstorming. What can you do with your content to stop people from scrolling? Your job as an artist isn't to keep people scrolling unless it's on your content. You don't want to keep people scrolling. You want to stop them from scrolling to come over to your content and scroll on your content as opposed to the For You page on TikTok. You want to experiment with reversing your approach. Go music first, narrative second. Lure your fans in with scroll-stopping music and draw them closer with narrative once they're in your ecosystem. You can always go back to the former approach if it doesn't work, but I feel like it's at least worth a try and see if people will really resonate with it. If the music quality isn't quite there yet, again, tap in with my artist course, we can figure something out for you. This might be a tough one to hear for people as well. Make one song that leans heavily into the algorithm. This might be difficult for people to hear, but don't tone down or compromise on your art. Just frame it differently. I said this in the last video, but your topics, your story, your experience doesn't limit you to only making music in one genre. Take a chance, take a risk, see if you can frame your music differently in a way that makes a song possible for you to just really take it off and go viral with it, and really start building the foundations of your fan base. Create more entry points and discovery loops for your music. This is something that you can tangibly invest into as well too. Find places where you can get in front of people. We did say earlier proof before permission, but sometimes as an artist who is unknown, you need to go out and seek out that permission. You need to pay for that permission. You need to get onto blogs, get onto playlist consideration. I don't recommend playlisting as much, but blogs especially, blogs that exist with a presence that transcends across multiple platforms, like maybe a blog that has a really active following on Instagram, but they're popping off on YouTube actively with content, on TikTok actively with content, and they run their own playlisting on different streaming platforms. That would be something you could look for in terms of investing into and creating an entry point to yourself. And the final point, forge forward as if no one is coming to save you. I know there's like a common for like gym guys and stuff like that, the motivator that they tell themselves is no one is coming to save you, so better do it yourself. But you need to kind of adopt this approach as an artist as well too. Push forward and get the metrics that you need to confirm that you are inevitable and worth investment to large groups of people. Because chances are, if you can frame yourself as an artist that positions your music as inevitable, people who are fans will show up for the inevitable just as often as the labels show up. The takeaway from all of this is not to be an AI artist, of course. It's this: momentum beats virality, systems beat moments, data beats opinion. The Xania Monet experiment isn't winning because she was the first AI artist of her kind. She is winning because her team understands how attention compounds when friction is low, the rewards that come from delivering what people expect, and developing a release strategy that aligns with platform behavior. Everything that Xania Monet's team is doing is things that any other artist is capable of doing. The question is, are you smart enough to do it? And do you want to do it enough? That's about it for this video today, everybody. Thanks for watching. Again, as always, appreciate your time giving some consideration to the things that I've been researching and developing. Make sure you're taking notes, reflecting, diving deeper on this form of content as well too, if you're really, really serious about succeeding within the music industry. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or opinions on AI music, if you think it's inevitable, if you think it's going to crash and burn in 10 years like I'm hoping for. Reach out to me on any of the socials as well too if you're interested in more of this content. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them as well too for you. Tap in with the music as well, see how the stuff that I'm doing and the strategies I'm testing, if it's actually leading to any results. I promise you it will be at some point, but I've got new singles coming out every week if you really want to understand the why behind why I'm doing all of this. And yeah, that's about it. We're all in this together, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.